Most trainers' team composition is based on the widest possible diversity of the known Pokemon types. And I've been curious how this would work out in one of the Pokemon games I haven't played too much. What's good, Chaotic Nation? It's your boy, Chaos here, and I've been known to build teams throughout my career based on the best teams for certain situations, like the best team to take on the main storyline of each game, and building teams for my opponents in draft leagues. But today I want to look at building a team to be as diverse as possible. So I will be building a team based on a few criteria. 1. I cannot use more than 2 Pokemon that are super effective on any particular type. This prevents my team from being overly effective against one type and yet not super great against another typing, just to keep it balanced. Number 2. I will be using the Black and White regional Dex only. This does not include the Dex after you've beaten the Elite Four, it does not include the National Dex, and it does not include any Pokemon that cannot be found in the original game of Black and White. So keep that in mind as we go through this list. Number 3. Dual types can have both stabs be super effective against any given type and still only count as one entry. This is so I can balance the teams with multiple typings on each Pokemon and not having too much of one type being beat up against. Same as the first rule, basically, just allows one Pokemon not to have more than one of its stabs to count for one super effective damage. And number 4, I cannot use legendary Pokemon, including mythical Pokemon or Ultra Beast. Ultra Beast don't exist in this game, but just for clarity, I can't use them. And since we are doing the Black and White Dex, I will not be including the Fairy type, as we don't need to cover that type since it wasn't discovered in Generation 5, so therefore it's not in the Dex, and therefore I do not need to cover it. So, with all that being said, let's get into the team. To start off this team, I thought it would be cool to include a starter Pokemon from the region. Of the 3 Unovan starters, Emboar is the only one with a dual typing, so I'm going to include it on this list. As a fire and fighting type, Emboar covers steel, rock, normal, dark, ice, grass, and bug type Pokemon. This gives our necessary fighting type to the team, so that way we have a way to deal with normal types that are only weak to fighting. Speaking of types that only have one weakness, we must get a ground type to deal with electric Pokemon. I've chosen Seismitoad, giving us a water and ground type. It is super effective against fire, ground, rock, steel, poison, and electric. And it must be noted here that we cannot use other Pokemon that are super effective against steel or rock types because we already have them covered by our current team as it stands. Now here's where we need to think about those tricky types, the ones that have a few weaknesses but not a lot. I decided to focus on dealing with water types next, since they're only weak to electric and grass. Galvantula fits this team as a bug electric type, and it covers grass, psychic, dark, flying, and water types. This also removes Pokemon that are good against grass and dark types from our list. And instead of focusing on removing the dark type from Galvantula's entry on the list, let's focus on adding one of them to our team. And one of the best in Black and White is Hydreigon. As a dark and dragon type Pokemon, Hydreigon covers dragon, ghost, and psychic. Now, it's not really that helpful of a typing, but it does help us deal with the few types that really only have one weakness, like dragon, that we haven't covered already. It does also get rid of our psychic type, and by proxy gets rid of the ghost type as well, because any other Pokemon that is good against ghost would also be good against psychic, so I just can't include any of those on the team anymore. At this point, I decided to double up on a few of our remaining types of the list, and it made sense for me to grab a rock type, so I chose Gigalith. Since it doesn't have a secondary type, which would make it good against other types we might have already removed, so it's pretty simple just to throw it onto the team. Rock types beat bug, flying, fire, and ice types, which removes all of them from our contention. And last but not least, we need a way to deal with our only remaining type we have no counters for yet: fighting types. Now we can't use a flying type since it would add an extra use against grass and bug Pokemon, and we've already got rid of the grass type from our list. So we must choose a psychic type. I went with Reuniclus, since it's kind of a cool Pokemon and I wanted to use it. And it's also a pure Psychic type, so there aren't any accidental super effectiveness on a type we've already removed from the list. Psychic beats Poison and Fighting, which makes our team super effective against every type at least one time over. Some of the hard types to cover on this team are Normal, Electric, Fighting, and Ghost types, only because I can't get another Fighting type on the team. I can't get another Ground type on the team. The only other way to beat Fighting types is Flying types, and we already had that covered, and I can't add any more things that are super effective against Ghost, because that would beat Psychic as well. And Dragon's a little bit rough because there is no Fairy in this generation, so you kind of just have to deal with a Dragon type beating a Dragon type unless you want to try to throw an Ice type on it, which is kind of weird, but I guess it could work. And that's the team. Thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video as much as I have had fun with creating this team. Let me know in the comments section down below what kind of teams you come up using this criteria above, and let me know if you want me to see me do this for another generation or Dex. Feel free to leave any suggestions on what type of Dex I should do next, if you want to see a certain game, or if you want to see just a regional Dex, or if you want to see a complete Dex, or anything like that. Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be glad to take a look into it for suggestions for future episodes of this going forward. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed, and make sure you subscribe and turn that notification bell on so that way you do not miss any updates from content from me. And stay connected to the channel by checking out the description down below to join us on Twitter, Discord, and Twitch for just more ways to stay connection and for more content. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm Chaos, signing off. Stay safe, and as always, burn it up.